I'm not one of them mainstream cunts, I'm that one full of pain and love.
Does porn set a bad example for teenagers?
It's good because they can learn something,
Yes.
but yeah, not to overuse it. It's not good to overuse it. These
Okay.
kind of videos.
That was my second question. Do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes genders?
Foreigners can help sometimes, but of course, our relationships cannot be based on hormones. Otherwise, you don't have to stay together. I mean, you need to really want to stay with your partner. But I know that I mean sometimes relationships they go to very bad moments. So for this reason, sometimes this kind of help can help.
Do you think on both sides though? Like women
I think
and
more.
men?
No, I think more men.
Should the creation and production of porn be illegal?
Legal?
Yeah, like illegal, like drugs, like not allowed to do.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, sure.
I don't reckon. Depends. I don't know. If it's ethical, it's all good.
Ethical.
Yeah, like not unfair. Like everyone can do what they want, I guess. Depends on your own relationship. Like every relationship's different, I guess. Don't you?
So do you know what I mean by stigmatized genders?
Like paint a picture for like certain genders.
Yeah, like say for example,
Yeah.
you know, like most women like to be fucked hard, you know, versus gentle. And then like, you know, guys, we get to see, most black guys that have a big dick, most black guys have a small dick.
Depends
you know
on the
what I mean?
guy, depends on the
Like stuff
chick.
like that.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, it works.
Okay. But like depends on like who. Different people want to hear different shit, don't you reckon? Some people, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, do you think that the creation or production of porn should be illegal?
Nah.
Yeah, no.
It's still a job and shit. It's still like some people's career. It shouldn't be like taken away altogether. People are still gonna fuck one up fucking camera. I shouldn't.
Absolutely.
Specifically Sarah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes genders?
I think it depends on the extent to which that person watches porn. I've personally been with someone that had a very serious porn addiction and it definitely damaged the relationship significantly. But I think it really depends on a case-by-case basis. It can be very damaging.
Okay, so everything in moderation sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so do you think that porn should be illegal? The production and the creation and production of porn should be illegal?
No. Absolutely not.
I think it's an unrealistic example of sex, yeah. Yeah, especially depending where you get it, but most porn is really unrealistic and it's not. It's
There's
really
a lot of
toxic.
acting in that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes genders?
It can, yeah. Yeah,
It
definitely.
depends on the person, but it can damage relationships if someone's like heavily into it and that's what they expect.
Yeah, if someone literally expects that and like the other person like doesn't live up to like this like high, very unrealistic standard set by the porn, then yeah, like I'd say that can ruin a relationship.
Should the creation and production of porn be illegal?
Legal, it's just got to be ethical. Like you just can't do anything. Like you just got to be.
And I think there should be like
respectful to everyone involved.
yeah, and I think there should be more information about it and like how it's like unrealistic and not something like really expected. There should be like more information and knowledge on it, like that sort of thing.
I think in some ways, yes. I think it can be unrealistic and definitely sets up unrealistic expectations when it comes to sex. Like it's not always perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so Do you think that porn can damage relationships and stigmatize genders?
It can. It definitely like sets like kind of expectations, unrealistic expectations of like what sex is as a whole, and it like it can damage relationships, but depends.
Go to coronavirus.vic.gov.au.
Yeah,
By the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
So, do you guys think that the creation and production of porn should be illegal?
No, definitely not. It's a valid line of work, and I think sex work is very important in society. It plays a massive role.
I think it should definitely not be illegal, but it should be created for the people who are creating its enjoyment and not for, you know, more of a profit or...
Yeah. Yeah, if you like really want to go into that line of work, there's nothing wrong with that, I reckon.
Yeah.
I have a slightly stronger view on this, but I think yes, it does. I guess it's the same thing as most outlets are saying, most people say. It's just sort of like, it's setting unrealistic expectations that people just try and walk into, or it's getting people the wrong idea of what they should do, what they can do, what people are comfortable with doing. Because you're looking at professionals and people who have actually trained for this, instead of a lot of people who just have no idea going in and then expecting to do things these professionals are doing.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have a different opinion?
I can't say it's been something I really thought of myself, because porn is something like at the back of my mind, outside of mine. Don't really think much about it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys think that porn can damage relationships and stigmatize genders?
Oh. I guess.
I mean, I guess it's the same with everything. Like, I guess an unhealthy amount, yes. I don't actually really know how to answer this.
I mean, if you treat it kind of like fiction in a sense, if like you can tell apart like this is like fictional and then like reality is different, maybe it's not that bad, but I also know people who can't tell the difference, especially maybe if you start young and more impressionable and you realize that there's like a different kind of thing. But if you're old enough and you like maybe you do it in moderation, you can tell, and then like it won't affect you that much, or it could be like this unconscious, subconscious thing which like influences you and you don't really realize it as well. Yeah, maybe.
Do you think the production and producing of porn should be illegal?
No.
No?
No.
I think making it illegal is just gonna make it worse in a sense.
Yeah, I
like,
think it's just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, it's like, you know, sometimes you think like things are bad, but then if you make it like outright illegal, it's gonna be worse. Like kind of thing.
Maybe the type of porn depends. Like it matters, the type of porn. So things like child pornography, obviously, like you have to make that illegal.
Yeah.
But porn overall, I don't think it should be illegal. Yeah.
I mean, not so much acting, but it's like the same sort of demographic people. It's just people getting paid to do something that they want to do. And it's still a professional business, it's a professional industry. I just think it should be supported in some way. It just doesn't make any sense to me to make the whole thing illegal, even though there's a good section of it that should be condemned. In a way. I know that sounds really weird, but yeah.
Some does. Some can be quite liberating though. I think a lot of mainstream porn, like a lot of the stuff that you'll see like at the top of Pornhub, for example, that stuff can be quite, it is very gendered a lot of the time, especially since like, you know, it will either be, you know, straight porn or gay porn or lesbian porn. It's never really like, and anyone who doesn't fit into those three labels sort of gets buried, you know? Meanwhile, there's other avenues, like particularly through like individuals, that's way more diverse and can actually be quite liberating, like in terms of finding your sexuality, you know, being able to sort of, you know, go like, am I into this or not, you know? Yeah, I feel like mainstream, it's not great, but like, through individual creators and individual like people who just sort of put stuff out there, I think that can be quite healthy. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes genders? You can't answer that before.
Yeah, mainstream porn, yes, but other porn, no, not really.
Do you think the creation and production of porn should be illegal?
No. Just no. No. Really? I mean, mainstream porn sets a bad example, but equally, like, to ban it is to just run away from the problem, rather than fixing the problem, you're just making sure that the problem can't exist by outlawing it. And much like the prohibition, it's going to happen, Like, so you're just going to sort of send it underground and make it, and most importantly, make it really dangerous. It can be quite dangerous already, it's even mainstream. Making it like illegal would just worsen that so badly. So no, I don't think it should be illegal.
So it'd be like the same sort of thing if drugs were illegal versus what they are now.
Yeah, if you legalize drugs, the less people are going to die by drugs. That's just it.
Because it's self-awareness.
More self-awareness. People are willing to go get help if they need help. Things like that. Because if you are having a bad trip, you're not going to call the cops. You're not going to call an ambulance. You're just going to get arrested. So, it's the same with porn. If you're finding yourself in a bad situation with porn, you're not going to call the cops, because if it's illegal, then you can't get help. But as it is now, with it legal, you can call the cops and you can get that help, So I don't think it should be illegal, no.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Do you want to talk about that first?
Porn fucks you up, and porn really damages you physiologically, psychologically, mentally, in the long run. So people exposed to porn, like for example me, like at a young age, right? That has had a lot of effects, even in my marriage, and so working that out, fixing that is a task. But yeah, porn is deeply damaging, and it shouldn't be people shouldn't be exposed, like children shouldn't be exposed to it, teenagers shouldn't be exposed to it, and I don't think it's healthy in a relationship either. I think it's deeply problematic. Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I think I would agree as well. I think with pornography, it's all about the man, and it's very desensitized. It's very animalistic as well in how you express intimacy, and I think that it really screws up your perceptions on how you should do foreplay, for example, when you're having sex, and how you should actually, intimacy is actually about being in the present moment and being warm and loving to each other, whereas there's no element of that in porn, and it really screws up with your mind.
Even when you have so-called, feminist porn or porn that is supposedly, not that
ethical?
Yeah, so-called ethical porn. I think even that is deeply problematic, because I think sex is something deeply sacred and spiritual, and it's the most profound kind of intimacy. And to even just portray that on a screen for consumption is a testament to modern society's deeply flawed priorities and lack of sense of self and sacrality.
Yeah. Well, they say that having sex is an exchange of souls, right?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what you said, intimacy is very important. Do you think, this goes to my next question.
And also you feel like you're outside of your body when you're watching porn, and then when you actually experience intimacy, you can't be in your body anymore, so you can't attain that pleasure, and that's why you need porn, and it's like a drug, you feel addicted to it.
So it changes the neurological patterns.
For sure, that's one aspect of it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This goes on to my next question, but do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes the gender?
Yes, yeah. And as we've said, I think, yeah.
It shows a very aggressive kind of intimacy, and that can be very damaging because it can lead to marital rape or rape in a relationship, that rape can occur from the woman's side or the man's side, where you're forcing each other.
That's a intense consequence. It can also lead to problems with premature ejaculation, issues around expectations. But again, for me, that the base critique is the most profound critique. It's an exchange of souls, and it's not something that should be cheapened. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that the creation or production of porn should be illegal?
Yeah, I do. I think that because of my own beliefs and also because of its consequences, yeah, I think it's a deeply damaging and negative thing. Yeah.
I think like making something illegal is just gonna make people want to watch it more because you're criminalizing watching porn. I think what's important is to change how people think about intimacy and what people view as sacred and not sacred, and how we can change the attitudes of how people think, you know, and have conversations about porn and make that less taboo. I think that's probably a better way of dealing with the situation than like completely eradicating it.
I think it does, for sure. Because if you're a teen and you're watching porn, or you start kind of watching porn, you tend to think that that is what sex is. I mean, porn is very scripted. So, and even if it's not scripted, if it's just girlfriend, boyfriends, like, oh yeah, let's just put the camera there and go. It's just, sex doesn't happen like that in real life. So yeah, it's not good. So yeah. Yeah, very.
Do you think that porn damages relationships and stigmatizes genders?
Oh, damages, it could to some extent. I mean, of course, you know, we're told, and if we overdo things, of course, it's not good. So I think it does. Stigma. Oh, that's a hard one. I'm not quite sure how to answer the stigma, but I think, and especially for women, of course. Yeah.
I feel like it portrays women in a bad light, but also like, say for example, you know, and like this is a bad example, but
yeah.
You know, like black people have big dicks and white people have small dicks and Asians have small dicks.
I know, that's really bad actually. Oh, that's true.
Last question.
Yes.
Actually, I got one after this one.
Okay.
Should the creation and production of porn be illegal?
I think I would answer this in two ways. I don't think it should be illegal because, first of all, there are people who make money from it, and I don't think it should be illegal. I just think the industry should just be more careful in terms of what they really put out, because in the days and times we're living in, everyone can access porn any day. I mean, it's literally, we're walking with porn every day, you know. So I just think the industry should be just more careful what exactly they're putting out. So yeah.
For males, like I can only speak on the male part because like I only watched porn as a male as a kid. But definitely in some aspects, like people watch porn and they like, some people watch like fucked up porn, and then that's like, you don't know what you become like kinked into. So like if you only get off by one certain thing, like, and then you go out in the world and expecting the world to be like that porn, people don't realize that like porn stars don't just meet on the street and they go like, hey, we're gonna have sex, like this sort of thing. Like there's a vetting process with that. You have to get tested, you have to have STD tests, you have to have compatibility tests. They're not gonna put two people on screen who don't like share compatibility. But like, and then also like once like you start watching porn heaps and you start like only using porn as your ejaculation like scheme, every single person from there, like guys and that, like they get to a point where they're having sex with someone and they go, yo, I feel no physical, like it might be no emotional connection or no physical connection, and like the physical connection could be like guys get insecure that they're not going to, like they will come too early or they're not going to come because like they only get off by that thing. It's like if I smoke weed every day to get to sleep and then I try to sleep without it, like you're not going to fall asleep. Once you become reliant on something, you use that reliance, and then when you go into the real world, all your relationships won't really match. Like porn holds its place because
it's a good exploration for like sex, but it's problematic. There's like a fine line. There's a fine line, but I feel like the desire to come is like that. It's like nearly like an addiction, and it's sort of like you put your morals aside and you know that there's things that like isn't really right, and then everyone has that like those realizations and they've watched something, they come and they're like, what the fuck? you know. So I feel like it can be a problem because the outcome is so desired that you kind of just like push everything aside for it. So you're not really using your like logical brain. But yeah, and then there's all the like obvious problems with porn.
Well, that was pretty much what my next question was. Do you think that porn damages relationships, and do you think that it stigmatizes genders? Which pretty much you guys pretty much answered.
Yeah, relationships wise, it's like
It's like a personal.
Yeah, it's like
depends on.
yeah, it's like there are so many people that grow up not watching porn because it's not what they're into. There's so many people that grow up watching porn and then they find in a relationship. It's like yeah, like different strokes for different folks. Like it's like genuinely every single person has a different life experience, and like it's gonna collate into a relationship of some sort if they're lucky enough to fall in love. But like yeah, like yes and no. Like people have a healthy relationship to porn, and like so for it, like. But the thing is, it's mass-produced these days. Like everything in this world is mass-produced, and porn is as well. So like people aren't doing it for, like there's no, it's not an art form. It's like it can be seen as an art form, and like porn stars, there's like no discredit to them. Like if they believe they're making art, they believe they're making art, and that's with anything. Like if someone's doing graffiti and they believe they're making art, then all for it. But like when like giant production companies start outsourcing this stuff and going, we need all this content out there, not realizing what it's going to do to someone.
Well, yeah, and kids are so impressionable as well. It's more about the audience than like the production, you know. So it just depends on the person. And I feel like if it was spoken about more, it would definitely be less of a problem. So thank you.
The creation and production of porn should be illegal.
No, because that's like genuine.
That's people's livelihoods.
Yeah, it's like,
and also it's an form of expression.
Yeah, and it's an art form. Like it's like if you had your camera and then you just wanted to like film like a beautiful thing between you and your partner, and it got out there. Like, are you supposed to go to prison for that? And like, if you wanted to do it to gain money, like. There's so much stigmatism about the way people get money these days, not realizing the way the main people in the world, like they go to exploitation.
So in terms of, there's exploitation porn, and then there's, what's the word, ethical porn?
Yeah.
Is that the whole consensus?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's obviously underage, like non-consensual, like the captions and shit, like all like destroying women, shit like that. And then there's like fetishes that have to do with like genders and races and like all that kind of shit is weird as well. But
that's like the internet. It's like just it goes back to society. Like the way people talk about porn. Like you just spoke about it. Like they'll use the race as a thing. It'll be if they're talking about somebody with like Asian background, that'll be the main thing. There's a production company that's just called Blacked, and it's like women. Yeah, and it's women who get fucked by black guys, and it's called Blacked. And